Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Thank you so much for joining us for another segment of Health Professional Radio. We'll be speaking with Dr. Peter Berglund in this segment, Chief Scientific Officer of HDT Bio. He's going to discuss the development of next-generation RNA vaccine platform for infectious diseases and cancer. Welcome to Health Professional Radio, Dr. Peter Berglund. Thank you for taking the time this evening.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Tell us a bit about yourself and HDT Bio.
Yeah, I can start with myself. My name is Peter Berglund. I have a PhD from Karolinska Institutet in the 90s. And as part of my early work in academia starting 91, I started working directly with questions that eventually led me to a thesis in RNA vaccines. Mm-hmm. And I've then continued to work with RNA vaccination throughout my career, 15 years in academia and now 17 years in biotech. And brought these technologies with me. Here at HDT Bio, we set up operations in late 2019 in oncology to use RNA, especially self-amplifying RNA, for those who are familiar with that. But COVID came and we shifted gear and did a whole development programs as a COVID vaccine.
So you had already been researching this technology for a number of years before the pandemic, and as you said, you just switched gears due to COVID-19. Your company, HDT Bio, developing a next-generation RNA vaccine platform. What makes your platform next generation?
Yeah, it's a couple of different things. So we look at very much the current products that are out there as first generation. And then the next generation has a couple of improvements. Number one, it uses an RNA that is self-amplifying. I think we're going to touch upon that in a bit as well. It means that instead of injecting a high amount of RNA and it's sort of used up for making the antigens that actually is the vaccine, this RNA has the ability to amplifying itself. It doesn't do it throughout the body. It's not like a virus that spreads through the body. But inside the cell, it makes copies of itself, and then those copies then serve as mRNAs, if you wish. So it allows for you to use a lower dose, and it's more immunogenic. So that's one part of the next gen. The other part of the next generation is the way we have chosen to formulate it. We took a look at the current methods, and we have done evaluated those, but also what we ultimately ended up with, which is what we think is a revolutionary, different way of formulating the RNA.
Talk about hurdles that you cleared in the development of this platform.
Yeah, so the hurdles have to do with infrastructure. So when COVID hit the ground, or when COVID sort of broke out, there was a lot of companies moving towards the manufacture of these drugs. And we had to, at a very short time, scramble for GMP compatible and competent organizations. We were lucky in that we had already been deep in discussions with the manufacturer that could do and make the RNA. Mm-hmm. So that allowed us to get some sort of a little bit of a head start. But we still had to scramble and be creative and work with different vendors to make the full final product come through.
Explain to us in detail this proprietary system called Lion. What is it? How does it help overcome some of the issues with existing RNA vaccines, if you would? Yeah,
so Lion is our proprietary to HDT. It builds, so everything you do, of course, is built on the shoulder of giants. In this case, this belongs to the cationic nanoemulsion family. It's an emulsion that's different from the lipid nanoparticles that people may have heard of that are in today's first generation RNA vaccines. Lion, on the other hand, is an emulsion. It has a size of about 50 microns. But what's interesting here is that the RNA actually can be attached to the outside of the particle. It's wound up almost like a rubber band around the ping pong ball, as opposed to embedded inside the lipid nanoparticle that is in the current vaccines. So that brings a series of different benefits to your product.
How much different is the approach when dealing with something, say, like COVID-19 or cancer? The technology is similar, but surely there are some vast differences.
Yeah, so we can harvest a lot of reap a lot of benefits when we use this approach instead of the traditional approach. One of them is that turns out that it's much safer, number one. So because the RNA is on the outside, the manufacturing is also easier to do. So we can decouple the manufacturing of the RNA and the lion, as we call it. They can be made in different manufacturing facilities, and they can be shipped separately from each other to the clinic where they are to be used. So imagine, for example, a cancer clinic. They can mix these two components on the site for maximum flexibility when it comes to dosing and also storage. Very, very stable. This line is very stable for years in its appropriate temperature, and the RNA as well. So a lot of different benefits there. In addition, and that came actually as a surprise to us, it had significant safety benefits when it was used in the clinic. So when we look at our safety profile compared to other companies that have delivered self-amplifying RNAs, or mRNAs for that matter, we see a significantly lower amount of adverse events, including fever, for example.
Is there anything that you'd like to add for our listeners, and then give us a website where we can learn more about HDT?
Yeah, I encourage people to go to hdt.bio, so not hdt.com, but hdt.bio. That's our website. You can learn more about our technology and our pipeline. This is very exciting. Another place to look is NCI, National Cancer Institute. They have a website for prevention. So they may have to Google it because I don't have the link exactly here, but I think cancer.gov/prevent will take them there. We have a partnership with the National Cancer Institute. They're evaluating and using our technologies. We are a partner for the development of preventative cancer vaccines.
You're also working on emerging pandemic threats and, as we said, oncology indications as well here in the United States, but also internationally, correct?
That is correct. So we have partnerships with NCI, as I mentioned, and academic collaborations as well, where they do clinical trials. We also have a partnership with the Pan-African Cancer Research Institute, PACTRI, and people can read more about that on our website as well. We're very happy about that partnership and hope it'll be fruitful. We also have deep relationships with development partners around the globe, especially in the global south. So we have development in Brazil. Our product actually got approved in India for COVID prevention. It's a COVID vaccine. It's approved there as well. And we also have clinical trials and ongoing in South Korea with a partner there. So we believe that there's money to make in the lower and middle income countries. We want to be part of these solutions, even though we are a for-profit company, sort of in our DNA to partner with companies around the globe.
Peter, I appreciate your time this evening. Thank you so much for joining us here on Health Professional Radio. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard, in conversation with Dr. Peter Berglund. Audio copies of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Health Professional Radio.